asked Pilgrim. "Which direction should I take?" Pointing with her finger, the woman answered, "Due south of here." When Pilgrim turned to look, the woman immediately vanished. Pilgrim was so startled that he bowed hurriedly, saying, "Which one of the Bodhisattvas are you? Your disciple has been somewhat dazed from all that burrowing in the ground and he can't recognize you. I beg you to leave me your name so that I can thank you properly." From midair came the announcement, "Great Sage, it's I." Pilgrim looked up quickly and found that it was the old dame of Lee Mountain. He rushed up to midair to thank her, saying, "Old dame, where did you come from to enlighten me?" The old dame said, "I was just going home from the festival of the dragon flower tree. When I learned of your master's ordeal, I revealed myself under the guise of a mourning wife in order to deliver him from death. You must go to Pralamba quickly, but you must not reveal that it was I who gave you the instruction. That sage tends to put blame on people." After Pilgrim thanked her, they parted. Mounting his cloud somersault, Pilgrim at once arrived at the Purple Cloud Mountain. As he stopped his cloud, he saw the Thousand Flowers Cave, outside of which fresh pines enshroud the lovely scene. Jade cedars surround a home divine. Green willows fill the mountain paths. Strange blossoms clog the brook and rill. Fragrant orchids ring a stone house. Scented grass on the ridges glistens. The flowing streams jade green throughout. Clouds seal up aged hollow trunks. Wild fowl sing melodiously. Quiet deer walk leisurely. Each bamboo's refined, stalk by stalk. Each red plum unfurls, leaf by leaf. A cold crow rests on an old tree. A spring bird squeals on a tall bough. Summer wheat grows wide as the fields. Autumn grain aplenty on the ground. No leaf would fall in 4 seasons. All flowers bloom in 8 periods. Auspicious air will rise often to the sky. And hallowed clouds will reach the great grand void. In great delight, our great sage walked inside, level by level, and there was no end to the sight of this gorgeous scenery. But there was not a person in view. The place was completely silent, with not even the sound of a chicken or a dog. Could it be? He thought to himself, that the sage is not home. He walked further in for another few miles when he came upon a Taoist nun sitting on a couch. How did she look, you ask? She wore a 5-flower patterned silk cap. She had on a robe of knitted gold threads. She trod on cloud-patterned phoenix beak shoes. A double tassel silk sash wrapped her waist. Her face had aged like autumn after frost. Her voice cooed like spring swallows before the shrine. She had long known the 3 vehicles law. Her mind often fixed on the 4 great truths. The void intuited bore true right fruit. Intelligence formed gave freedom complete. This was the Buddha of Thousand Flowers Cave, who was called Pralamba, a noble name. Without stopping, Pilgrim walked right up to her and called out, "Bodhisattva Pralamba, I salute you." Descending from her couch, the Bodhisattva folded her hands to return his greeting and said, "Great sage, sorry for not coming to meet you. Where did you come from? How could you recognize me as the great sage all at once?" asked Pilgrim. Pralamba said, "When you brought great disturbance to the celestial palace that year, your image was spread throughout the universe. Which person would not know and recognize you?" "Indeed," replied Pilgrim. "As the proverb says, the good thing will not leave the door. The evil deed will go 1,000 miles. I bet you didn't know that I have repented and entered the Buddhist gate." "When did you do that?" said Pralamba. "Congratulations. Congratulations. I escaped with my life recently," said Pilgrim. In order to give protection to the Tang monk, who had been commissioned to go seek scriptures in the Western Heaven, my master ran into the Taoist of the Yellow Flower Abbey, and was poisoned by his poisoned tea. When I fought with that fellow, he had me enclosed in his golden beams, though I escaped through my magic power. When I heard that the Bodhisattva could extinguish his golden beams, I came here especially to solicit your assistance." "Who told you that?" asked the Bodhisattva. "Since attending the feast of Alambana Bowl, I haven't left my door for over 300 years. With my name completely hidden, no one knows me." "How did you know?" "I'm a devil in the earth," replied Pilgrim. "No matter where you are, I can find you." All right, said the Bodhisattva. "I shouldn't leave, but if the great sage comes here in person, I will not destroy the good deed of scripture seeking. I'll go with you." After he thanked her, Pilgrim said, "Pardon my ignorance and my urging, but what sort of weapon do you need to take along?" The Bodhisattva said, "I have a little embroidery needle which can undo that fellow." Pilgrim could not resist saying, "Old dame has misled me. If I had known that only an embroidery needle was needed, I wouldn't have troubled you. Old Monkey himself can supply a whole load of such needles." Pralamba said, "That needle of yours is only made of steel or metal, and it can't be used. This treasure of mine is not made of steel, iron, or gold. It is rather a product cultivated in the eyes of my son." "Who is your son?" asked Pilgrim. "The Star Lord Orionis," replied Pralamba. Pilgrim was quite astonished. Soon, they saw the bright, golden beams, and Pilgrim said to her, "That's where the Yellow Flower Abbey is." Whereupon Pralamba took out from underneath her collar an embroidery needle, not more than half an inch long and as slim as a piece of eyebrow hair. Holding it in her hand, she threw it into the air, and after a little while, a loud crack at once dissipated the golden beams. "Bodhisattva!" cried Pilgrim, exceedingly pleased. "It's marvelous! Just marvelous! Let's find the needle! Let's find the needle! Isn't this it?" asked Pralamba as she held out her palm. Pilgrim dropped down from the clouds with her and walked inside the abbey, where they found that Taoist sitting there with tightly shut eyes and unable to move. "You brazen fiend!" scolded Pilgrim. "You're pretending to be blind." He whipped out the rod from his ear and wanted to strike, but Pralamba tugged at him, saying, "Don't hit him, great sage. Let's go see your master first." Pilgrim went directly back to the guest chambers, where the three pilgrims were still lying on the ground and foaming at their mouths. "What'll I do? What'll I do?" cried Pilgrim, shedding tears. "Please don't grieve, great sage," said Pralamba. "Since I came out the door today, I might as well accumulate some secret merit. I'm going to give you 3 tablets which will serve as an antidote to the poison." As Pilgrim bowed quickly to receive them, the Bodhisattva took out from her sleeve a small, punctured paper wrap. Inside were 3 red pills that she handed over to Pilgrim, telling him to put one in each of the pilgrims' mouths. Prying open their teeth, Pilgrim stuffed the pills into their mouths. In a little while, as the medicine reached their stomachs, they began to retch. After the poisonous substance had been thrown up, they regained consciousness. Our 8 Rules was the first to scramble up, crying, "This nausea's killing me." Tripitaka and Sha Monk also woke up, both crying, "I'm so dizzy." "You've all been poisoned by the tea," said Pilgrim. "And you should now thank the Bodhisattva Pralamba for rescuing you." Tripitaka arose and tidied his clothes to thank her. 8 Rules said, "Elder brother, where is that Taoist? Let me question him why he wants to harm us in this manner." Pilgrim at once gave a thorough account of what the spider spirits had done. More and more incensed, 8 Rules said, "If this fellow has formed a fraternal alliance with spider spirits, he, too, must be a monster spirit. There he is now," said Pilgrim, pointing with his finger. Standing outside the abbey and pretending to be blind, 8 Rules took up his rake and tried to rush out, but he was stopped by Pralamba, who said to him, "Heavenly Reeds, please calm yourself. The great sage knows that there's no other person at my cave. I would like to take the Taoist back and make him guard my door." Pilgrim said, "We are all indebted to your great kindness. How could we not comply? But please make him change back into his original form for us to see. That's easy," replied Pralamba, who went forward and pointed at the Taoist. Immediately, he fell to the dust and appeared in his true form, a huge centipede some 7 feet long. Lifting him up with her small finger, Pralamba at once mounted the auspicious clouds to head for the Thousand Flowers cave. Raising his head to stare after her, Eight Rules said, "This mama is quite formidable. How could she overpower such a vicious creature just like that?" Smiling, Pilgrim said, "I asked her whether she needed any weapon to break up the golden beams, and she told me that she had a tiny embroidery needle, a product cultivated in the eyes of her son. When I asked for his identity, she said that it was Star-Lord Orionis. Now, the Star-Lord is a rooster. So this mama, I suppose, must be a hen. Chickens are the deadliest foes of centipedes, and that's why she could bring him to submission." On hearing this, Tripitaka kowtowed some more before saying, "Disciples, let's pack up and leave." Sha Monk found some rice and grain inside, with which he prepared a meal. After master and disciples ate their fill, they led the horse and pulled the luggage out. Once his master walked out the door, Pilgrim started a fire in the kitchen, which reduced the entire abbey to ashes in no time at all. Truly, thanks to Pralamba, the Tang monk came to life. Enlightened nature destroyed the many-eyed fiend. We do not know what will happen to them as they proceed. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.